Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment, and welcome back to the Great Peasant Rebellion of 1154. You can see it's barely 1154 anymore here, but the Peasants' Revolution continues. In fact, pretty soon we will have to call it the Peasant Revolution of 1154 and 5, as we have Diathma taken, Atrion castles in our possession, and Mysia. Now we are going to head to a hopeful new home today. We are going to try to seize a new city for the rebellion, try to add another city to our list of rebelled cities today. And beforehand, we're going to be taking some of the garrison here from Mysia. You see I have these tier 5 units here. We're going to just leave those. One of the ground rules we set for our little peasant revolt here is in our armies, we're only going to have tier 1 through 4 units. So we're going to do some recruiting here. More accurately, we're going to do some consolidation of troops here from Mysia into our army. And we are effectively abandoning Mysia. Don't tell the people there. We are going to be going to a new city for defense. In the previous episode, if you didn't watch, we did seize the city of Diathma in a very bloody siege. Now we are looking to add another city to this campaign. There are ground rules to this campaign, because otherwise I would just recruit a bunch of tier 5 and 6 enemies and we would mangle our foes, right? We are at war against everybody, but at the minimum we'd be able to slowly hold ground and I think gain a toehold in this kingdom. Now that remains to be seen what'll happen, because of course right now some of our enemies are at war with each other. And I'm just going to talk about this while I do some house cleaning here. I've got to sell some stuff. We're going to try to get some resources for the road. We're going to bring some cattle, right? Peasants love a nice side of beef. Everybody likes a little charred beef after a good battle. So we're going to bring some food for our venture today. We got plenty of money. That's not a concern at all. But now we have reinforcements. We're going to pursue additional recruits at towns and villages on our way to our next city. We're not going to be ransoming any of these fuck nobles. They're following behind our cattle, right? That's the order of our march here. We have the peasants actually walk out front. We are one of the leader. We're part of the leading group. We walk in the middle because we want the peasants to know that they come first. And then towards the back is the cattle and the supply wagons, all the women and the cooks. Yeah, I know it's a sexist age. Hello here. We've got a nice Northern Empire force that we're going to massacre. And at the very back, behind the cattle, with all the cattle dung, are our nobles that we have seized. Right? We have about 25 noble prisoners, and we're looking to add to it here. This Pellicose motherfucker attacking Gauss Castle. We are going to fucking desecrate these guys in battle here. You can see they have a pretty strong force. Elite Cataphracts, Legionaries, Benabliatons, lots of tier 5 units, even tier 6 units. Of course, we don't have any, and this whole campaign we will use normal player damage. Now, before though, just finishing my point, we'll recruit a few prisoners here, is that in this campaign, we're at war with everybody. Because our rebellion is still fairly small, most of these kingdoms are fighting each other on some level, right? There's war besides our own peasant kingdom. And eventually I imagine that may change. Once the rebellion spreads and once our rebellion starts to touch the lives and the throats of the nobles within the realm, I imagine they're going to start to gang up on us. So I like this ridge here on the right side. We're going to try to seize this ridge. You see that rock out there? We're going to be able to protect our units and then essentially create a blind for the enemy to come around and be massacred by our archers. We'll see if they even attack. We slightly outnumber our foe in this battle. But we're showing battles like this in this campaign for 2 reasons. First, because we're still going to be able to execute tactics. We are fighting higher level troops than us. I guess it's 3 reasons. And the third reason is that I've had many requests of people who want to see a campaign. Okay, perfect. The enemy's not going to come up the sides here. So we'll put Cav here to block them, just to make sure they can't flank us. We'll use the second, let's see, we got the 6th. So the main bowman tranche I want towards our right here. The 1st and the 4th can be towards the center. The 6th here. The 6th corps is skirmishers and archers. And then we'll have a row of cav blocking this side, our left side of this rock. And then on the right here, I'll put another cav division. But I wanted to finish that point that we are showing all the battles and all the little nuts and bolts and odds and ends of a campaign, because there's lots of people that have sort of expressed interest in me playing a campaign. So the 1st corps, we're spreading that out towards the front. And what you see, what we've done here is effectively create a blind. For the enemy to attack us over this ridge, they have to come right over that into withering archer fire, and they're not going to be able to attack us very readily with that cav, right? We've got a bunch of heavy cav lined up in a big shield wall intercepting them, and if they get by that, of course, they face tons of javelins and our 1st Infantry Corps repelling them even further. All while that's happening, you can see the bolts and arrows flying into their cav corps, and total destruction is occurring. I was going to say is about to occur, but it's already occurring. You can see the death spam. So that the enemy here is sort of divided because half their troops are over that ridge. So we're just going to massacre their heavy horse here. We're going to kill all their nobles. My hammer's really awkward, but we can knock the shit out of some nobles with it. It's a very low level hammer, and that goes along with some of the other ground rules for our campaign. We're not wearing elite armor. Damn, I can't hit this gal. 10 air javelins goes right through her shields. We're not going to be wearing elite armor. We're not going to be using tier 5 and 6 units. We're effectively a peasant revolt. We're going to truck some lords here to the ground with our blacksmith's hammer. But we're still going to try to overcome these odds with tactics and a strategic mindset. We do have high-level companions. There's about a half dozen high-level companions and 4 or 5 lower-level companions in this series. Charge this noble. Here, now she's off her horse, or he's off his horse. Kill them, peasants. Yeah, you just got yourself fucking ganged up on, dude. Gang rape, fucking medieval style. You gotta love it. A bunch of fucking peasants beating down the lords. All right. So, again, we're going to be showing some of these battles where victory is basically assured, but I want to sort of show fans of the channel, fans of tactics, fans of Bannerlord, sort of how we progress through the full meal deal of the campaign. We may not show every single moment. I may skip through some stuffs. I'm definitely not going to show every single instant just because it'd be extremely boring, in my opinion, selling loot and, harvesting cattle and whatnot. But we will show quite a bit more than we have shown on a lot of the previous episodes, and this is simply at the request of you fine viewers. So again, the enemy is very partitioned here, and you can see the problem they're facing. That ridge there, they can't get their archers over it. I mean, they got a few guys shooting, and as they come over, it's an absolutely withering firestorm of arrows. This strategy on the channel, we've been developing this for a while. I've been calling it kind of a peekaboo ridge. The closest actual military strategy to this, or military tactic, is a reverse slope defense. No, I don't want these guys charging around the corner like that. Let's get them set down here. And the whole idea, of course, with the reverse slope defense, we didn't even have to enact it here. You can see their archers can't get over the ridge to shoot. And if they come over the ridge to shoot, before they can knock their bows and move into position, they are trucked with 1,000 javelins and arrows and stuff like that. Now that they've fallen back, we can massacre their infantry, right? We have their infantry to ourselves. We now badly outnumber it, and not a single one of these guys is going to get out of here, right? We've got cav here that we can pursue with, and this is going to be an utter massacre. In fact, they'll probably have reinforcements soon. They already have reinforcements. All right, so the next phase, we're going to position archers up here in the tree. We're going to continue to use elevation. We will give them a cav corps to defend them. We'll use the second corps here and just stretch it in front of them. That prevents the enemy heavy cav from coming in there and skewering our low-ranking archers. We're going to maul the enemy lords here. Pelikos, the leader of this insolent fucking raid on our Gauss castle, takes a mace to the face, and down he goes. Here, let's see. We got 2 cav wings. I can attack their archers with another cav wing. The thing I want to do, though, is I want to get positioned now over this ridge, right? Since the enemy's coming up, we want to quickly get positioned on this ridge. This is going to be wrapped up pretty quickly. We will do some hammer and anvil here with cavalry, but the big key at this stage is we now have archers in an elevated position. Of course, the enemy has, like, recruits. Their archers are still of high quality, so we're going to prioritize destroying them with cav. But this battle is essentially over. Hopefully that was enough tactical discussion and demonstration for people's tastes and desires. Of course, that's what our channel is mainly focused on, is tactics. You can see their infantry here is basically walking into a death trap. Archers flanking them in 2 different infantry divisions, just waiting for them. Meanwhile, we're going to drag our 3rd cav, all in shield wall, right through these archers. They're getting charge damage, and right when they're in the thickest midst of them here, we charge. That'll do. They're going to charge, hopefully, around this corner. You can see the death span. The cav is lighting them up. The militia is getting mass kills. Now we're going to hammer and anvil the rest of their infantry here. But I wanted to finish up the point. So on this campaign, it's interesting. A lot of people sort of want to see the ins and outs of how I play a campaign. And there are some elements where I think I have some things to share with you fine viewers that'll benefit you, that'll interest you. But I would say I am a C+ or a C- student at a full campaign. Some guys want to see a campaign from the very beginning, and I don't think that's a good idea. We may still do it anyways if there's enough you fellas that want that, but here's why. I like to try to tell people when I don't know something. I think one of the most important things to intelligence is to know when you don't know something, and I honestly don't know the early campaign very well, and here's why. I've now played 5 campaigns, but 3 of them were really short. They were a series of maybe 2 or 3 weeks of a campaign, maybe played through 3 or 4 years worth of a campaign and kind of got going on some different kingdoms. But I didn't play them very long. And my other 2 campaigns have been primarily focused on the very late game, right? This 69-year campaign or whatever the fuck this is, these incredibly long campaigns. This is 6,000 hours, folks, between 2 different campaigns. I know that's almost impossible to believe, but I love the game. I love the tactics part of it. We're at war with everybody, and so we've had sort of an endless game, right? And this is by our own making, right? I am intentionally staying at war with everybody in our campaign. And this peasants revolt, right? We could have peace. These guys are suing us for peace. In fact, at this stage, now some of the kingdoms are offering us money, right? But we're not going to take money. We want their souls. We want vengeance for these peasants. We want freedom. So we won't be taking money, and we won't have peace with anybody either. So the point of all that, though, is that I have played 5 campaigns, give or take. I've had a couple, maybe 2-day campaigns that don't even count. And that is the bulk of my experience. The overwhelming majority of my experience is at the very sort of end game of a campaign. That means that if you watch me play an early game campaign, you'll probably be snickering watching me play, making bizarre decisions, not knowing about elementary things that maybe you already know about. I don't think it's going to be very beneficial. We killed some of their nobles. I don't think it's going to be very beneficial for you to see me play an early game campaign. That said, like I said, if there's enough demand, then maybe at some point or other I'll entertain that. I've thought about being like an Aserai mercenary. All right, so that battle's wrapped up here. We're going to take some prisoners. We consider this altruism. I know that seems strange, but it's altruistic here to take these guys out of their despicable, tyrannical kingdoms that they're working for right now. And we're going to tell them, look, you'd be much better served joining our rebellion. We pay greater wages. Frankly, at this stage, we have hotter chicks, right? Because chicks dig a winning side. We keep winning. The enemy keeps losing. Very quickly, all the most attractive women in the kingdom are migrating their way to this rebellion, right? Some of them are in our army, right? We've got these incredibly beautiful women that are fighting for us. And obviously, these troops would be happier if they were, in an army full of hot chicks. I mean, I think I would be. So the next part of a little housekeeping here, I've told you this before, we've got to dump all these tier 5 units. These are troops that just upgraded in this battle, and this is an unfortunate part of this campaign. I haven't figured a workaround for this. What I'm doing is I'm going through and basically taking all the tier 5 units that my companion armies upgrade and dumping them into the snow, right? We're telling these guys, go away. Your services aren't needed. This is a peasants revolt, not a noble revolt, and so we don't want a bunch of peasants we don't want a bunch of tier 5 units in our armies, right? I got to collect all these. Ordinarily, you'd be thrilled to have all these upgrades. Instead, though, we're just disbanding these guys. And this is a double-edged sword. Not only are we deprived of the strength of these powerful units in battle, but what we're also effectively doing is in a battle like this where we get these upgrades, all these guys upgraded from this battle, we lose all these units, right? We just lost, let's see how many total units it is. So what I'm going to do now is go into my party and I will dump all these, they're just effectively dismissed. This has got to be like 30. Actually, it's more than 30. So 46 plus 3 wounded tier 5 unit, tier 6 units, and we just dump them by the wayside here, right? We tell them, no offense, but this is a peasants rebellion, not a noble rebellion, right? Let's see. So we're going to pursue some more troops here at some of these garrisons, but you can see how damaging that is to our revolt. I don't know any way around that. But I guess we just consider that one more handicap that makes this really hard, right? I'm a big fan of history, and peasant revolts throughout history have almost always failed, right? There have been notable exceptions, but they weren't really peasants' revolts, right? If you want to talk about maybe some of the Scottish revolts, or obviously the English Civil War, where peasants fought and helped England and the Parliament sort of gain control of the kingdom, or even the American Revolutionary War. These weren't really peasants. So there were a lot of, like Sam Adams was literally like a bartender or a brewer or something like that. Hence the beer. But it wasn't like they had all peasants. Like they had George Washington, of course, was previously an officer in the English army, I believe. So, it's a little bit of a misnomer to say that those are peasants' rebellions. In most peasants' rebellions, frankly, they were futile, right? The lords would gang up on them. Yeah, see, we're not going to fight any of these. Anytime we go to a town and tell them, give us troops, and they tell us, no, we're going to fight, we'll just say, never mind, we were just kidding. Sell us your bread and we'll be on our way. So our target here is Sinope. I'm kind of making our way there with this little diatribe about peasants' revolts. I'm going to try to keep these episodes sort of lively. As a big fan of history, I'll be referencing some peasants' revolts from time to time and talking about some of the concepts of peasants' revolts. Yeah, see, they all want to fight instead of give us their troops. If only they knew better, right, that we had all the hot chicks. Maybe our gals could start. Actually, they are still wearing dresses, so I imagine some of these towns are going to start giving us some volunteers. Varagos Castle is nice because it's right next to... And this has a smallish garrison. 500 units is relatively small. That might be one of our next targets here. But first, we have to pay homage to Crios. Crios was the village that revolted. We sort of helped them revolt at the very beginning. Check out episode 1 if you want to know more about the storyline. Zuvan was sent as a messenger from Crios to the emperor, to the Archon, or however you say that shit, to say basically, look, lower these taxes. These peasants have just had crushing taxes for years. Please do something to relieve the oppression. And of course, we got told to eat shit, so we beheaded them and threw their heads into the pig stalls. That way, they could literally eat shit. And we were victorious. So Crios is where this all started from. We're going to go there, quite frankly. That's interesting. Sinope is starving. There must have been some raids going on there. That's going to make it even easier for us to attack. Anyway, so we're going to... Okay, so they don't have any troops here. That's interesting. And of course, we're not going to force them to give us peasants. We're not about to declare any violence on Crios. We'll take all their mules here, and we will head to Sinope to siege. So peasants' revolts almost always were put down ruthlessly. Usually, of course, all the peasants were executed, or at least the leaders were executed. So the road to success here is just fraught with difficulty, right? If you study history, you know our odds of succeeding are remote. And here we go. They're already sieging Diathma. This is our city here. The Valandians, in fact, have joined the battle against us. So previously it had been all the Empire kingdoms. This is and the Khazate. Now Valandia is attacking us as well, right? All these nobles, just like the French Revolution, were the Germans, and they weren't officially Germans, but the Prussians and England and all these other fucks attacked the French Revolution and their citizens. They're now attacking our revolt here. We're gonna try to take Sinope. There's a decent defense force at Diathma, and it's one of the unbalancing parts for the player in a campaign is it takes a long time for the enemy to siege down a castle, literally days, whereas when you do a siege, it's instantaneous. I'm not quite certain why that advantage is so prevalent in the game. Maybe they want it so that you can occasionally defend cities, and of course, if it was instantaneous, more armies would just march around, take your castle, and you wouldn't be able to defend it. That is the case for the enemy here, right? Like as soon as we start this siege, once the battle is happening, the enemy won't be able to join this battle, and we can, at our leisure, so to speak, take the city. That siege is instant, and then we can hopefully then head to Diathma to defend whatever forces are there. That said, this is going to be a bitch, right? There's high-level troops in this city. They actually outnumber us. If you're new to Bannerlord, this is a no-no. You do not siege a city. In fact, this is a tier 3 city, or tier 2 maybe. Looks like it's tier 2. You don't siege a high-level city with more attackers or with more defenders than attackers. That's just a no-no. Never mind the fact that we also have fucking peasants, right? We have low-level troops, and we're going to be attacking a city that has, you know, Imperial Sergeant crossbowmen and elite Manavletons and elite cataphract, right? This is typically a big no-no. But we're going to give this a shot here with our peasant army. We do have about 80 tier 4 units and maybe another 80 tier 3 units. But then at the bottom, it's Scrub City, right? It's recruits. We have 35 recruits, 7 more Sturgeon recruits. We have looters. So this is going to be a bitch. Nevertheless, here we're going to recruit a little heavy horseman here. Nevertheless, we're still going to wade into battle here. Yeah, see, they have 47 elite metal, 34 elite cataphract, 16 consguards, 66 imperial crossbowmen. This would be a 0% chance. In fact, I'm stunned that the power meter sort of feels like we're just a slight underdog. I can tell you right now that this is going to be the defining moment of this campaign. If we can take this city, then we have momentum and we can continue to succeed with this rebellion. But there's a pretty good chance that we can't succeed here. Well, we do have our siege tower, so we're going to give this a shot here. We're going to launch into battle, and of course, as usual, normal player damage to this whole series. With the enemy with such elite forces, I think what makes the most strategic sense here is to try to punch a hole in one of these 3 locations. And this siege tower on the left wing is definitely going to be our greatest opportunity. The problem with one siege tower, of course, is the enemy will target it with their artillery. I got this little ghetto guy in the 2nd division. He's going to be about as good an option as we have. So I have the 4th, 5th, and 6th following me. These are 2 archer divisions and a skirmisher division. And our main objective here is to... Okay, they're already bombarding that shit. Is to try to get these archers and ranged units spread out so that we can do major damage to the defending forces here. Maybe even hit that catapult. That guy's fucking visible. The guy at the catapult there... I don't know if I can get it over those stones, but if we can dial that went right over his head. All right, we're gonna give this a shot here. Oh, the guys are shooting him. If we can stop this guy from shooting, we got a chance to get this siege tower up. And of course, God, I'm just barely missing. Come on, baby. Got his ass. All right. So he's already got a replacement. All I got to do now is hold the same position, and literally every single guy that comes to that catapult in that same configuration, we can take out. This siege tower has a chance of getting up here. I've got the 2nd Archer or 2nd Infantry Division waiting here. Now I got to redial in this accuracy. Damn, they got a shot off. Yeah, and they are attacking that siege tower. All right, we've got to do everything we can to try to prevent them from damaging these siege towers here. I can just barely see the guy. I mean, it's the tightest possible window, but we're getting them. We're preventing them from fucking firing. Go ahead and load on up there, guy. Oh, they shot him out of my way. Come on, fellas, dial it in. One more shot on him. Damn, he's getting more shots off. Yeah, we got another guy dropped. If we can get that siege tower up here, we're going to absolutely ballistically blitzkrieg this side of the keep. I'm going to get one more shot. Come on, baby. I'm trying to narrow this in here. It just takes an absolute thread-the-needle shot to get that guy. Sacked him again. That might be enough. We've dropped like 3 or 4 guys. They've only gotten 1 shot off, where normally they might have gotten, or 2 shots off, where they might normally have gotten 5 or 6. It's definitely got a shot. It's got a good amount of health still. So this is our best opportunity to rush in the keep. I don't see any defenders here. I don't see any other troops on the ground. So it's time to start. Okay, here they come. I spoke too soon. It's almost like they were listening to me. All right, let's get our infantry ready. Let's get our skirmisher division ready. The idea here is basically to overwhelm one puncture point here with the enemy. Look at our archers going to work, right? They're trying to defend that little slot. Now, these stupid fucks are not getting the ladder. I guess the Jarl's got to do it all. Actually, I'm no longer the Jarl, right? I'm just a peasant leader revolt. Well, actually, we're not incognito. We're not telling these guys, like, you know, that we're the Jarl. All right, so we're going to lift these ladders ourselves, and then we're going to have an infantry division head up these ladders. I know I'm talking 1,000 miles an hour. We're charging in the other side with the skirmishers and the 3rd division. These are infantry divisions, and I'm hoping that the 2nd division, I think, is coming to our location. Where are these boys coming? Okay, those guys are there. 2nd. Okay, so we'll send the 3rd up those ladders. The idea here is to attack the enemy from as many different puncture points as possible. It looks like we've already got a small breach here. We need to send everybody up here. We've got archer support. I understand some people can't understand anything I'm saying. I'm doing my very best to narrate while I play, and of course I have to speak quickly to tell you exactly what I'm doing the whole way. If anything's unclear, of course, you've got the old rewind button. Well, I guess you don't have a rewind button. I just seriously dated myself. You could pause and then scroll back, right? And just if you wanted to know what my thoughts were. This is what I want, though. It's time to set up defenses here. Let's get the archers spread out in wide arcs up here on the walls. We're going to use the enemy's defenses against them. Let's send in infantry. They've got a division down there guarding the ladder. But let's get these archers set up here, and we're going to use the archers' own walls against them. Now we're the ones on the wall shooting down on the enemy. They're all heading towards the gate. I wonder if the gate just got burst open as well. But they've got a large division of infantry down here. Let's get archers set up both in the courtyard. Let's get a shield wall infantry facing them, and then archers. Oh, here comes the rest of their forces. And those are archers. They're already starting to shoot at us. All right, what do I have here? I've got the 6th. Let's have the 6th follow me. I'm going to have the 6th division follow me in a shield wall. These guys will be blocking a lot of the... Let's see, where can we set up? I wonder if we can line up in a big long line along this walkway here. Yeah, beautiful. So these guys will be in a shield wall now, firing down their throwing weapons, firing down their javelins, and of course they're distracting from the enemy. Look at all the archers down there that are now shooting up at our defensive guys. That's good because we can then isolate that infantry division down there. Fuck, they're bringing more troops. I don't have a way down there. Well, when you don't have a way down there, there's always fucking gravity. Fuck it. Zuvan's going to wade in here. He's going to be his usual reckless self. Of course, look at all the attention I attracted. I just lost half my health getting stabbed in the face, but now we're going to wade in here. A lot of these are militia, but there's also very high-level troops kind of mixed in here. Sergeant crossbowmen. We're going to wield our lightning-fast short axe and try to do some damage. But look at the positioning these guys have. This is what I was hoping for. Now we're going to just basically protect these archers so they can light up the enemy with enfilade fire. Look at that angle they have. And those guys on the wall have a great angle too. All right, we got to protect these guys. We got to prevent any infantry from getting there and interrupting them. And then whatever infantry I can get down here, we're going to charge these boys. I'm going to wade in here. Fuck it. This kind of a desperate battle, you kind of have to risk death. You kind of have to risk... This fucking stubborn guy, get off. You kind of have to risk more in a battle like this, right? This is a critical juncture of this peasants' revolt. And, you know, the noose is waiting, right? They're waiting to draw and quarter us. They're getting the ropes attached to the horses in case they capture us here. So we're just going to wade through and destroy everything we can. We're going to risk death with our peasants. We're going to inspire some fucking heroism here. We're kicking our Sergeant Crossbowmen in the face. We're clubbing Khan's guards. Beautiful. All right, we just cleaved a path. Now I see, okay, that's 60, 20. That looked like more than 300 troops. Yeah, it is. That's more than 300 troops. So the majority of their troops are there. That was just a small finger of their defense. Those guys are routing. These guys are spreading out. These are archers, so we're going to try to protect our guys as we move up here. I've got infantry following me. And now we're basically going to slug it out with these guys. These are the infantry, or no, it's a mix. Okay, it's a mix of archers and infantry charging. Wow, they just charged into death. They just literally charged into a surrounded situation. So those guys will get destroyed. But they do have archers with me. Fucking shot 72 shot to the face again. Man, Zuvan like 2 hits, and of course I guess I can't complain because I'm the one that chose to wear like a sheepskin rug on his head. This is self-imposed armor because we want to camouflage in with these guys, right? We don't want them to know that Zuvan is a former lord of a kingdom. All right, we're gonna wade in here, and I think this is actually a perfect opportunity to try some siege tactics. I know a lot of people think there aren't a lot of tactics to siege, but watch this shit. I got the 5th, the 6th is charging, the 3rd is charging. Let's get the 5th and the 7th to follow me, and let's cut off the enemy's retreat and give them some enfilade fire to boot. I have these guys basically. I hear people routing. I don't care. They're running. Let's get the 5th and the 7th behind the enemy here. This will both cut off their retreat, and we'll be able to get some nasty enfilade fire here to try to finish this city off. 5th and 7th positioned here with some range and a spread formation. It's kind of a giant scrum there of troops. And see, the enemy's not really facing this direction. They're not really anticipating, of course, an attack here. Now, this is a problem. Their retreating troops are running through here, distracting our archers. Not much I can do about that, just because of the game mechanics. Oh, shit, I just fat-fingered it. All right, hold on. Everybody attacks the 5th and the 7th. Let's reset these guys into spread formation here. 5th, 7th, and we'll drag the 2nd. We're starting to make ground here. We got a shot here. This is like the critical moment of this battle. All right, let's get them in shield wall and charge. They got more archers around the corner there. I'm down to, of course, a sliver, so we've got to play a little defensive. But as soon as I get any support here, fuck it, we're waiting in. Fuck you, peasants. Join our revolution or die. We're going to truck some people with this incredibly fast hammer. It's very low damage, but it annihilates people. And of course, with peasants and his infantry militia, you don't need to have a lot of damage. You just need to knock them on the ground, right? And they're trucked. They got Khan's guards getting obliterated here. They're starting to rout. This is a very good sign. I think, I just looked up, in fact. This fucking city is ours. Lovely. Right, now we got to avoid getting killed at the end of this battle, and I should explain that part. I haven't really mentioned that a lot in this campaign. I have a mod called MORE Death, I think it's called, or Death for All or something like that. Ordinarily, the death rate for nobles is very low, including your own character. Something like 1 in 500 actual times they're knocked unconscious, they'll die. With this mod, I have 50 times the normal death rate for all our nobles, including the enemy nobles. That means there's way more carnage and death. Fucking assholes, we're gonna barrel in here and finish these guys. If Zuvon gets knocked down, there's something like a 10% chance of him dying. And the same thing with my companions. And I wanted this because it's more realistic. It also adds there's more at stake with every battle, right? If you kill their forces and defeat their nobles, beautiful, battle finished, then you're less likely to die. And conversely, right, if you get dropped, you're much more likely to die. Zuvon may end up dying leading this revolt, which I think is a cool suspense level. So this is part of the game, and it is going to cause more death. In fact, let's do the battle finished here. We'll see kind of the results and see if they lost any lords, see if we lost any lords. Look at our fucking peasants are stoked. We got a new city. Fuck yeah, this beautiful city is ours. And damn, we did. We lost 2 critical companions. Of course, the other gal was wearing a barmaid's uniform, so that's, I guess, not unexpected. And Barag was wearing, you know, a leather jacket. But that's 2 companions we lost that are pretty important to our peasant revolt. But such is war, right? You might lose a critical companion, and it could cause the entire revolt to start to go backwards. I don't get to participate in this final little sack of the keep, but our guys are successful here. This is a tremendous victory for us, right? If we had lost, we would have been able to retreat and leave. But then what would we have? We'd have an injured fucking group of guys, demoralized, and then all of our cities and castles under siege, right? We're just completely under assault here. Instead, now we have a largely healthy crew. We get all this loot we can give to our peasants, right? We're certainly not going to wear it. We will mourn the dead. We're going to do a little pillage here. Our guys definitely appreciate being allowed to pillage, right? These guys can steal some shit and then sell it for loot. That's why these guys want to join our army, right? We got all the hot chicks. We got all the booty from raids. Gallus under siege. Myzia under siege. Diathma under siege. The only one that's not under siege is Atrion. So we're hardly done with this rebellion yet. But we've got guys joining the cause. We still have over 600 rebels here. It's almost 700, in fact. And we remain undaunted, right? We've been undefeated. We continue to take on all comers. And this peasant revolt, at this stage, it looks like it's gaining steam. There's already a militia here somehow. I guess they're just ready to join us. So that's going to wrap up this episode. More to come. Let me know what you guys think of this. Please like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. And I will see you guys next time.